we made it through a minute and a half of Winter's new Zerg build guide, and then we just skipped to the 10-minute mark, because we got the rest, right? Yeah, it'll be fine. Oh yeah, third base. Okay. By the way, we can already tell that the minimap DLC is not downloaded, based on the fact an Overlord, for some reason, is still there, and it's scouting there's a probe in the base. Because of course there is. Why would we see that? Thankfully, it just kind of died. I'm not entirely sure you know what that was about. So here's the moment of truth. Here's the moment of truth. There's one adept. Make 2 more links. Okay. Not bad. Now, not much was built during it, but that was a pretty proportional response. You might be like, that's a lot of gas, Shirley. No, he's done a good job. Angry Coach is not about being angry just to be angry. Okay, it's not like, oh, he's angry, LOL, or all those YouTube commenters like, oh, Winter wasn't very angry this replay. That's false advertising. No, you're just falsely being accused of being an intelligent human being. I would argue otherwise, but this is good. So far, no major fuck-ups. Now this is where it's starting to get a little dicey. Like, we got 700 minerals, kind of just afterthought lair. I'm sure at some point we'll get Evo Chambers. Wait, he's pretty solid, so I'm still not seeing the mass queens. But at some point, there you go. Roach Warren, Evo Chambers, not... I mean, essentially, if you're spending all of your larvae, and you have 500 minerals left over, it's time. You might be like, when is the time? Also, we got... Oh, I see. The reason why we don't build more queens is because then we would run out of hotkeys that we have to take the hand off the mouse in order to hit. Unless we're using some sort of, like, weird control scheme that doesn't make any sense to me. So, well, by mass queens, we mean a maximum of, like, 8. You might be like, well, this is easier for injecting. I would argue having camera locations, 1, doesn't take up your control groups, and 2, let's be honest here, it's not like you're injecting very religiously anyways. It's like, well, I haven't changed the way I play Zerg since 2011. It's like, well, in the 3 games you played since then, that's very apparent. I see a question in the chat. What ELO is this? The answer is, if you ask what ELO is this in StarCraft, it doesn't matter. Did we get roach speed? No. That will become apparent when we first try to fight with roaches. Roach speed. It's kind of like you have a... You are now in my service. It's like having... You are... what's that? What's it good again? You have a cake, but no icing. There are some perfectly good cakes that don't need icing. Like you got... I'm not a personal fan, but you got like cheesecake. You just... It's the cheat... It's not one of those cakes. Okay? It's one of the cakes that really does need the... like you got like a carrot cake or something. Which, why did anyone think that would be appealing? It's like, well, I'm being healthy because it says carrot in it. So let's just put a nice slathering of literally just crystallized sugar that's at least 1/5 of the width of the cake. Otherwise, you just got carrot cake. And do you want the carrot cake of unit compositions? Get your icing. Okay. More stuff, more shit counters less shit. And now we're realizing that speed upgrades are good. That's why Zerg has a speed upgrade for, like, literally everything. Unfortunately, there's no speed upgrade for your brain, but... Now, here's what I want to do. First, look at the supply. How long is this game? 7 more minutes. The question will be... How do you fuck this up? You don't have to wait till 200 supply to attack, but it does appear this is my new Zerg build. And by new, I mean I kind of just did the same thing again. I just knew I would get more ad revenue. I say it at the start of the video, but we did forget 2-2 upgrades, and let's dispel with the rumor we were ever going to use anything but the Select All Army hotkey, but that doesn't matter, because we're in Platinum. Okay, let's see if there's any way to lose this. Well, upgrades should not be like, well, I guess I have to play the game longer. They should be, okay, I have upgrades finishing, so even if this timing attack doesn't work out, I have other options.
Mineral field depleted.
I don't mind the transition into Broodlords. Got a reasonable amount of APM for what's going on. Like, it's fine. Besides, like, just not getting the upgrades and just going headlong into Colossus Disruptor. But, for the most part, more shit counters, less shit. Yes, Broodlords still have a purpose. Thank you, Captain Cornwalt. Uh-oh. The hardest count... Well, I mean, like, don't... You're like, how do you counter disruptors? Not like that. The thing is, you still win the fight, because there's more than enough left over. But there's any amount of Dark Templar, so... Like, despite everything, this is a idiot-proof unit composition. Like, this is the type of unit composition you'd give to children to suck on. I don't, that sounds weird, but like, because it's child safe. Moving to a different analogies. Give to Platinum Leaguers to suck on. There you go. Because they're worse than children. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now, what I want you to do... No, we're not going to watch. This is my... We are just going to watch one part of the screen here, because this is always the most fun part. And I mean, it's fine when you built enough units, but... Let's just do...
Mineral field depleted.
Just fun to watch. But there were 3 DTs! 3 DTs! I know. But the F2 is fine.
You are now in my service.
If he got upgrades... Jimmy! What the fuck? Well, maybe we shouldn't have... I know. We need some of those Elgato lights so I can finally be a professional streamer. Anyways. A-. You did the build. It's obvious you still have some habits from when you actually played in 2011, maybe 12. When you thought you were getting good, but then eventually went to go play, I'm gonna guess, League of Legends for several years, and realized that literally, like, a better thing to do with your life would be to sit in a padded cell. But A-. Read me like a book. WTF. You have TFT in your name. And you said that the name Mass Queens is from when Destiny played Mass Queens. And the last time Destiny played Starcraft was to win slightly more money than me in the achievement hunt. And the last time before that was 2 expansions ago. So, and also you watch Destiny, which he knows his audience, and so do I. League of Legends was not a hard guess. Moving on. Also, you talk a lot. You're probably one of those annoying people in the chat that everyone mutes, but you're still talking. And then, I'm gonna guess what lane. Top laner, because you're a loner. But mid is too try hard. I'm reaching a little, but we'll see. Now we have WTF. Yeah. I mean, stereotypes exist for a reason. And that reason is for me to make fun of them on Angry Coach. Anyways, we're gonna check out. Next up is Tart Turtle. Yeah. Mid lane is for people who don't say bruh, for the most part. I'm sorry, guys. World of Darkness. Wow. Your name is You're Gay. And to that I say, get a better name and get the fuck out. Thank you for the $20. You're a gold Protoss. Like, you can do better with your life. Moving on. Captain Undead can't, and he says, good call. Fair call, rather. The replay I sent was wrong. The one where you get supply blocked for, like, 20% of the first 10 minutes. Go ahead and link me the correct replay, or whatever it is, if there is one. That's old. Yes, 15th of December. Years ago. Now we have getting supply blocked for even more of the first 10 minutes. Like, how many times do we have to go over if you just, like, if you build units and don't get supply blocked for the first 10 minutes, that's how you get to Masters. There's no, like, unit composition. Well, I mean, there is a unit composition, but, like, okay, let's take a look. Like, supply block there. This is like your second depot. Come on. Starcraft is really not that hard. It's not that complicated. It's very difficult, but not complicated. Let me be more precise. And when you say not that hard, that leaves too many dumb, edgy arguments. Like, you don't have to be playing League of Legends, memorizing a fucking encyclopedia of shitty abilities from champions that no one actually plays, and if you pick, people are going to Q dodge you. We're still on that point. There's only 3 races. There's only like 15, 17 units. I think it's like 17 or 18 for each race, give or take. It's not that much. I changed my name. Can I get a redo? Yeah, that doesn't change the fact all your replays offend me for so many reasons. So maybe play a couple more games and come back.
SCV ready.
Diamond Terran.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready.
Like, build SCVs. You missed, like, almost a full SCV there. For no reason. Besides, like, I'm scouting and I forgot. Like, you stopped building at 52 seconds. Okay, that wasn't the one. This is the one. At 105, maybe 106.
SCV ready.
4 or 5 seconds. Okay, wasn't as much as I said. That's fair. I'm not gonna exaggerate because there's plenty I don't need to. But 4 or 5 seconds. Like, and if that ends up being when you want to build an orbital, you're gonna be a few seconds late. Like, just press the button to build the SCV. Queue it up. You build. Okay, so here's what happens. You build your depot. You get your barracks. And then you got SCV number 17, SCV number 18. So pretty much 3 SCV queue you'll end up at max. I don't know if you'll save up all the minerals in time, but just like press the button.
SCV ready.
What's that? Like, it's not a big deal now, but it's indicative of if literally nothing is happening besides a probe passes through the brush, then what's going, like, when anything else is happening, how's your SCV production going to be? Like right now. Orbital. Orbital. You're distracting yourself. You're not building a Reaper. You're not building an orbital because you can't hit, like, how many times have you done this opener? And how many times have you done it correctly? So far, I'm looking at 0. Like, who cares about what he's doing? Go scout your own fucking base for a second. You fucked up a Reaper expand. That's like fucking up a black coffee. Okay? Like, you literally just had to pour the coffee. How did you fuck that up? Like, there's no weird combination of things to make it more palatable. Like, why would you bother with that? Go get an iced coffee or some shit. Like, you still aren't building an orbital. The orbital takes 25 seconds. When should the orbital have started? The orbital, and everybody, like, his barracks is on time, so we can use this as a timer. I don't actually know when a barracks finishes. I should probably know that. Let's say 1:30. Here, it's 1:33. So that means your orbital should be fucking done at 1:58, and you should be able to drop a mule, and the rest of your build shouldn't be a disaster. You're 16 seconds late. And this is going to lead to a quicker potential supply block because you built an extra SCV before building your second depot. Like, do you have short-term memory loss or long-term memory loss or just some form of memory loss where it's like, despite playing 4,000 games and doing this opener at least 2,000 times, you still don't remember what it is? Can I send another replay? Do you have more money? These are the defining characteristics.
Command center upgrade
I kinda do.
complete.
Well, you might have... If you can't make it to 2 minutes, like, this is what's gonna keep you in Diamond. In Diamond, for many people, some people it's like they just cannon rush their way into Diamond and have no other builds. But for most people, it's not like, here's one thing you can do and get to Masters. No, you're just doing several things, either a lot of things a small amount wrong, or a few things significantly wrong. And so far, you've made a lot of little mistakes.
Need more supply depots.
Microing the Reaper. You know my feelings about this. Why did you put a reactor? Okay, you're queuing up SCVs. What's the point of this reactor again? Like, what's that for? We're getting another factory? What the fuck is... No, wait, no. That's a starport. I can't click on it.
Ready.
Add-on complete.
If you build a tank, I'm gonna be unhappy.
Go, go, go.
Command center upgrade.
We're just gonna build a tank. Okay. I'll just build a tank. Gonna get supply blocked to 46?
Better be good.
Like every other Terran in the history of Diamond? Of course. Hard wait, no. You built the depot. Never mind. not the end of the game. Okay, not terrible. But now that we've made it this far, we've kind of
You are now in my service.
waddled our way to a 1-1-1. Thank you, Sparty.
SCV ready.
All right, third command center, 2 more Rex. It's coming together.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. You want a piece of me, boy?
Yes, yes, yes. Just as I deserve.
You guys, great-ish minds.
You're pretty little
Okay.
SCV ready.
Well, MG Bay is in
Yes,
kind of a weird
yes,
spot.
Just as I deserve.
SCV
And the
ready.
Zerg versus Diamond here.
Yeah, I mean, when you go tanks, you've kind of given up most of your initiative.
SCV ready. Go, go, go.
You might find a sneaky liberator spot or something, but
SCV ready. Fueled up, ready to go.
We're returning fire.
SCV ready.
Ready for dust off.
besides not getting any upgrades, like, you'd think the double forge would remind you about those upgrades, but like, you built your engineering base in such an awkward place. I think you just keep not noticing them. Like, why are they over here? Like they're in the guest house. It's like, what? They're in the guest house with the help. No, you need help. That 1-1 should be starting. You don't want to be a full upgrade behind a Protoss. Like, this is a diamond-defining mistake. You built 2 engineering base. You have the money for upgrades. You've had that for a full minute. Or in other words, about half an upgrade. You're just not. You even have the NG base. Like, it's not like you forgot the NG. You built the engineering base. Okay, you climbed up the diving board. You stood on the edge of it. And then you just kind of chilled there checking your phone for a while.
Roll out. SCV ready.
Oh, there it is.
Research is wrapped up.
A very obvious observer.
Ready.
Get your paws on the supply depot.
And now see what happens when you forget? Well, guess what else you forgot? Deep breaths, everybody. We're going for as long as he is supply blocked. We're gonna hold our breath. So,
Fueled up, ready to go.
deep breaths. And
SCV ready.
Research complete.
This better be. SCV ready.
Build supply depots for that.
he's building 1. But he's
your
immediately
paws
gonna
on the
be
supply
supply blocked
depot.
again.
SCV ready.
Need more supply.
Go, go.
Ready for dust off.
Okay, supply drop. No, okay, we're okay. He stopped it. He did it. It was getting dicey.
SCV
I think you thought you started your 1-1, and then you built your armory, and you're like, oh. Like, you can't. I bet that 1 out of 3 games that happens. Like, 1 out of 3 games, like, oh yeah, I didn't start my upgrades, and that's unacceptable. That's like forgetting 1 out of 3 children. And this isn't a Home Alone situation. It's like 1 out of 3 times I forget my child. We go back for him later, but we did drive off without him at the gas station. My NG Bay is on 9. Upgrade is on UIO. Here's what you can do. Fucking click it. That's what I do. I click on it and I say, I need upgrades. And then, because they're important, and I don't want to be a diamond leaguer. That's my method. Also, I don't know why you're flying around with everything in medevacs in the first place. Like, risking... But you already walked across. So, I get it. You're trying to find a tank positioning. But still, is it really doing much for you? Also, you're just kind of chilling there. No Marines sent out. Like, you just... Thankfully, you are just building a lot of units, which means you're not dead. If you had been supply blocked as hard as you were... Oh, here we go again. Stop flying shit around in medevacs like you're innovation. You're not innovation until you have 2-2 at the same time you're finishing 1-1. That is more innovation than doing this fancy tanks flying around like it's 2016 shit.
Surge is wrapped up.
Ready for
Okay. Where is he? He just won a fight. He's probably coming across the map. There's a chance he's a bitch and he isn't, but there's a chance he's right here. He's a bitch, because he's diamond. But, if you're playing a Masters player, I'll tell you what I would do as the Protoss. I win that fight, I kill a chunk of the units, I warp it around, and I'm right the fuck here. I'm walking up this ramp or something like that. You have plenty of time. And you're about to just, I don't know, here I go. This time I won't load all my tanks into medevacs, but I have no idea where his army is, and I'm gonna be surprised every fucking time.
Getting out of that cluster.
So about those 2-2 upgrades. About those 2-2. So how's that 9 key working out for you? You know what I say to the 9 key? 9. Das ist scheiße. No. Just click them. Get your fucking upgrades. God. No weird hotkey schemes. Because it doesn't matter if you don't do shit. That was a good scan. I like that scan. I mean, that scan could have been a Marine. But it's better. Like, it's better that that scan existed than nothing happened at all. Okay? I'll give you that. That's about it. If I had $1 for every scan that should have been a Marine, then that would be $1. But, well, the Marine is what prompts a scan and doesn't force you to make a second scan. That's the situation. The Marine notifies you where to scan, and then you scan instead of scanning twice. Okay. So ideally you target the tanks on the Colossi. Notice everyone's money after that fight. Notice your 2-2 upgrades? Neither do I, senpai. Maybe if your units weren't like a solid 20% worse than they needed to be, that fight wouldn't have been such a disaster. Like, you just didn't get 2-2. You can't do that. Like, you need to... I don't know what sort of mental gymnastics you have to do in order to, like, maybe move... Maybe, I know, it sounds like a big step. But move the engineering bays out of the guest house. Put them in your fucking mineral line. Alright? Put your engineering bays in your main mineral line. I don't know. Do something. Because it's not working for you. I don't like... It would be better overall for your game to wall off your own main mineral line at like the 5-minute mark when it's already starting to mine out anyways with 2 engineering bays than it would be to do what you're doing right now. I say that with conviction. At least that way you might have a chance of looking at them.
Upgrades all set.
Alright, more bio units. Thankfully, in Diamond, it's more about building more shit than exactly what you're building. Scan. 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 Okay. That's pretty solid control, actually. I don't know why you're like. Did you click on his units and see he had 2-2? Did you realize you're about to finish this fight, literally like 5 seconds before your upgrades finish? If you waited like 15 more seconds to do this fight, you might win it. But upgrades are, it's like upgrades are happening to someone else. Every once in a while, you catch a glimpse of them out the window. It's like, oh, upgrades, how you doing? How you been? How's the family? Waiting takes too long. Why win a fight in 30 seconds when you could lose one right now? I agree. Bio is one of the most upgrade-dependent unit compositions in the entire game. That is because there's no splash damage. Every single shot takes into account those weapon upgrades, and there are a whole lot of units that if they stay alive, if they have one more armor, they stay alive for another Colossi swipe or another Zealot hit. They give Medivacs another split second to heal. Bio is I would argue the most important to have upgrades for. And you've managed to find the worst possible times to fight. Like, Colossi are not as much so. Like, Storm, of course, doesn't matter. Zealots even, like, armor upgrades factor in a lot more. But Bio, it's a huge deal. Okay. So, now we're gonna base trade and pray. What a snipe before the recall. This isn't a terrible call, by the way. Assuming you don't lose all your units fighting over a base that is already dead. You got pretty lucky with that snipe on the recalling Nexus. You just have to stay alive once again. There's no reason you have to fight this right now. He doesn't have a warp prism. If you wait, like, 30 seconds for another round of units, 3-3, and more Vikings, then you can easily wipe this. But, as it stands, you've calculated not only the angle and timing, but just the perfect amount of units, I think, to not quite really do anything to this army. Maybe kill one Colossus and one Tempest. That's my prediction. One Colossus? I lied. Okay, apparently Marauders are pretty good. And then everything dies to Storm. Like, all you had to do was not lose your whole army. I know it sounds hard, but it's as easy as not losing your whole army. The main, sure, Storm, but... Oh, wow, look how good 3-3 is. Imagine if you had all of those units in Vikings earlier. How great would that be? This is a very Terran mindset. It's like, well, if I wait too long, the Protoss will become strong as you're tearing through his entire fucking base. Like, no. Have some goddamn patience. He's not reinforcing that army. You see, much easier with 3-3. And now you're gonna win anyways because he's kind of making the same mistakes you are. And now we finally built some Liberators. In your defense, he did build a lot of Tempests. So. Jesus Christ. How, like, you just gotta not lose your whole army. That's it. I don't know how you keep losing your whole army.
Upgrade complete.
You're like, I'm gonna trickle it in one at a
Ain't no
time.
minerals left in that.
Colossi? Like, do they have some sort of gravitational pull that forces units to attack one by one into them at terrible angles? It's a very OP ability.
Guys is done.
Jesus Christ. I feel like the ghosts have done everything but EMP Templar. I don't know if a single ghost has EMP'd a single Templar this game. Okay, let's think. You just killed, you don't know about this base, but you just killed what you think are his only mining bases. Do you need to defend this base when you still have 2 mining bases? Is it important? Like, it'd be nice to, but the game hinges on it?
That's all the minerals you get.
The answer, in case it wasn't an obvious leading question, is no. All you need to do is group up enough to either be able to just kill all the interceptors. And the fact he went carriers are a rich man's unit, but like, you don't need to lose anything here. It feels like it does at the time. Yes, I'm being attacked, but I must defend. There's no such thing as retreat in my unupgraded army. I mean, now you've got the upgrades eventually. It's not like the difference between gold and diamond is they make the same mistakes, just less dramatically. Like you forgot your upgrades over and over, and they were very late, but at least you got 2-2. In gold, like, if fights get started, let alone building an armory, getting 2-2, like, that's not...
You are now in my
Whoa,
service.
have you tried battle cruisers?
Wow, 10 months. Love the stream. Here is to tell more.
Retreat are for losers? Well, you're gonna lose one way or another with that strat, but anyways, I mean,
SCVs are
he's had a tendency to... Carriers are not a great unit. Like, carriers are bad.
mineral cluster.
Especially against Bio. Get Thors, honestly. Thors destroy carriers. Don't get Thors. Don't listen to that guy. He's an idiot. Don't get Thors.
The enemy's after your S.
He's probably a gold Terran. That's what I'm getting from it.
This better be good.
We're returning fire.
Like, gold Terran's like, if it can't be solved with a Thor or a battlecruiser, it can't be solved at all.
Well, dust done. Real
And he
smooth,
dies.
ain't ya?
This is why he is only low GM, to be honest, bro. You know what they call the rank 200 GM? A Grand fucking Master. Don't get Thors. If you're going bio, don't make... Like, you can make Thors, but Whittle Mines are better. It's not like we had factory production. If you're going mech, Thors are fine. If you see the Tempest in a timely manner, but you got one factory, and you got limited money, the answer is exactly what you did, which is Ghosts and Vikings and Marines. You just don't...
You are now
Just...
in my service.
You built like 15
Hashtag
Ghosts,
target
but you
force.
still lost like hundreds of supply to Storm, which was very impressive. Overall, it's like a B-, because the problem is, like, it would be... It's like you're reciting a speech, okay? You're reciting a speech, but literally, like your upgrades, in the middle of the speech, you just... pause for no fucking reason. Like, you know what you want to say. It's just you decide, you just zone out right in the middle. Like, that's a game after like a month's gap of gameplay. You literally accidentally linked me a replay from a week ago. So bullshit. You can quickly get factories, bro. Yes, let's dig the Thor. I'm all aboard the Thor train. I'm just saying, to say get Thors is the most Gold League, Bronze League hero, literally Gold League, practically Bronze League, Twitch chat comment that you could possibly make in that scenario. And it was beautiful. So thank you for that. Thank you, Sir Caster, as well. Alright. From Smiles, who is a Platinum Zerg. Jesus Christ. Why? I mean, oh, from Smiles, who is a Platinum Zerg. Wait. Is this different? No, this is a different guy. This is a different Platinum Zerg. Ah, yes. Okay, so we have 2 Platinum Zergs. Of course we do. Why wouldn't we? Now we see if we make it to 2 minutes without any disasters, because then we get to play the rest of the replay. Oh yeah, the hope score. The hope score is based on a medium amount of games, how likely I think you are to improve. Like, how well are you embracing things you need to improve. A medium amount of games is 5 games per league. 5 for bronze, 10 for silver, 15 for gold, 20 for plat, 25 diamond. Like, for example, if Captain Undead plays like that 25 games a week, I think he will improve, but very slowly and with a lot of interruptions, because some games will be won or lost based on how many times you run your Marines and Marauders headlong into Colossi with worse upgrades. Okay, so we're gonna build 4 lane. Okay. It's fine. It's fine thus far. I don't know why this Overlord went this way. We got close. Close enough. Why would I want to scout? Why would I want to put it in the obvious location specifically designed for Overlords to have perfect vision at all times of the early game against Terran and Protoss, when I could just sit in the fucking corner and hide? Why would I want to do that? That would be ridiculous. I'd be like, I've never heard of this concept of putting the Overlord on the pervert pillar before and seeing, oh, he has a bunker, or he's building Hellions, or whatever the fuck else. That would be far too complicated and hard to replicate. Why is Zerg so often plat, Terran so often diamond? And to answer your question, Protoss so often gold, because those are the most, those are the walls for people who actually play the game. Why are they the walls? For Gold League Protosses, essentially, up until Gold League, like a lot of Gold League Protoss send it in, because Protoss, especially at the lower levels, tend to be people with more disposable income, because Protoss is, let's be honest, the cooler race. They spent most of the Bronze, Silver, and Gold League, well, maybe some of the Gold League, making their base look more aesthetically pleasing and putting cannons in fun locations than they did actually building units. And now they're wondering why that still doesn't work. For Platinum, the reason why Platinum is the wall for Zerg players is because of those Gold League Protoss and Terrans, but the Terrans aren't going to send it in because they're probably poor, because a lot of them started out playing the free version of Starcraft. It's all free now, but a lot of them started out with the free version or the free campaign, which is Terran, for poor people. I mean, for people who might not want to be spending money on the game. So that's why they're in Diamond with the Terrans, but the same things apply. But the reason it's Platinum for Zerg, okay, the reason it's Platinum for Zerg is because those Gold League Terrans and Protoss literally just don't know how to wall off or do a build. And Zerg can take advantage of that by also not knowing how to do a build, but Zerglings and Banelings are very good when nobody knows how to do anything. So Zerg players just kind of drunkenly stumble their way into the Platinum League if they play enough games a lot of the time, and then they end up here asking, why does my strategy of making 47 Zerglings, somehow 47, when I only have 28 drones, not work still against people who have ever looked at a guide ever in the history of StarCraft? And the reason it's Diamond Terrans is because Terrans have a victim complex that makes them feel superior to the other races because they are mistakenly thinking that it's more effort or more skilled or more micro-dependent or mechanical dependent, where that is truly, one, not a real argument to be made, and two, definitely not one below the Grandmaster's level. But a lot of those Terran players will put the work in. They'll write down fucking build orders in a notebook. Just ask Artosis. They'll make their way. They'll struggle. They'll grind through platinum. I mean, a diamond player is usually just an advanced gold player. But they'll get to diamond, and they've put themselves in such a bubble where they can only see the strengths of the other races. They don't realize what the mistakes they're making themselves. You see a lot of people microing their first Reaper and getting 1,200 minerals and wondering why you can never pressure a Zerg, or dying with 40 supply to every single time a Protoss storms without ever building more than 2 Liberators in a single game. Stuff like that. So Diamond Terrans are the people who feel like they went through the most effort to get there, and are blinded by their own prejudices. And that's why Gold Protoss, Platinum Zerg, Diamond Terran, those are the stereotypes, and based on the amount of people that send it in, by far, like, I think approximately half of all replays fall into those 3 specific categories. Maybe a little bit under half, but when you consider how many races and leagues there are, it's pretty strong. Shout out to all the poor Terrans, by the way.
Successful.
So, like, we're in Platinum. You built a 3rd base, and you're actually building drones, so we're already, like, on the upper half of Platinum. I'm not gonna worry too much. Like, even if you don't scout your opponent, 80% of the time, you'll be fine. The other 20% you'll die to cheese, and it's gonna feel like half the time, but it's really not. The reason why it feels like you're getting cheesed all the time is because it takes 4 minutes to die to a Proxy Rex and 27 minutes to break a Terran who has a bunch of siege tanks. Okay? So technically, you could die to, like, 7 Proxy Rexes almost in the time it takes to beat 1 Turtle Terran. But, well, that's why it feels like it happens so often, even if it doesn't. And you might be like, Winter, what's the answer? Like, what if I don't know what they're doing? Queens. Are they going Hellions? Queens. Are they going Banshees? Queens. Battlecruiser Queens. Even if, like, some weird early medevac shit, Queens. There's no better unit than Queen. It's not like you're broke. This is not like a hypothetical. This is right now. What are you saving up for? A lair and no idea what you're going to do with it? I have to assume so. 14 more Zerglings. Why? And you still have 900 minerals, because Zerglings are shitty units for people who have way more APM than you. Oh no. Like, we were doing so well, but now we're going off the reservation. It's, like, you're getting a Baneling Nest, a second gas, a bunch of Zerglings, and a lair. And you still have 800 minerals, because you should be building queens, not Zerglings. And/or... But at least queens are the first part of the and/or. Wait, not or. Either queens and Zerglings, or just queens. Also, 4 minutes build Spore Crawlers in your mineral lands. Technically, against Terran, it could be a little later. Let's not chance that. I like how the Baneling Nest and all the Zerglings were built before scouting. Little do you know he's going Blue Flame Hellions, by the way. which is the worst thing he could possibly be doing for someone with few queens and many Zerglings. Alright. We've seen Platinum Zerg before. The evolution chambers are about 3 seconds out. Really? It's worse than I thought. Wow. Oh no. Ah. It's bad. Like, I was going to accept the Evo chambers as long as, like, we're building drones, doing creep spread. I mean, sure, whatever. But if you move these Zerglings a fucking millimeter, the fact you have them is bad enough. Alright? But if you move them any amount of any places before building evolution chambers or like a roach warren or some basic common sense, then we have a problem. Okay, you just clicked on them because you forgot what... Oh, there you go. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, we're getting all the gases because it makes us feel better. Like the Evo chambers, they're not. It's like a band without the drums. Okay. It's just a bunch of empty sounding shit. Did you just build a dropper lord? I don't think that was intentional.
Swarm forces under attack.
Like, you can't just not get Evo chambers. It's not like you don't have the money. Here's the rule. If you have 1,000 minerals and you spend all your larvae, spent all the larvae, not supply block, build another hatch. I don't care. Treat it like Brood War. We both know you're not going to be injecting later on. Come on. Alright? Why do you think we're building roaches in the first place? Another hatch. It doesn't have to be at a fourth. I mean, ideally you at least get a fourth eventually, but build in your main. At your natural. Not in random places on the map. Okay, obviously. But like...
Under attack.
Oh no. Like...
Yes.
There's always that
Just
one
as I
thing,
deserve.
right?
I feel like a mess in PvP. I am sure I am just bad, but I like
Ah,
getting
yes.
yelled at.
PvP, if you feel like a mess in PvP, that means you're playing correctly. Unless you're like gold, in which case, at least you're playing. You know what? We just lost a bunch of Zerglings to Blue Flame Hellions. Can you guys guess what we're gonna build? Zerg. And also lose a bunch of drones. Holy fuck.
Speaking of gold Thors, I maxed out at 13
How did this
minutes,
even
2 to
happen?
2, but still got
Like,
destroyed.
how did they even
But I
get
don't
in
know where
here?
to go from there. Enjoy losing your mind with this one.
What?
Forces
Like,
under attack.
you had units. Oh, and then, like, where the fuck are you going? What's the point of this creep spread? What's the point of this fucking creep spread if you're not going to use it? The point of creep spread is not just to make your units move faster out of the way of the Hellions, but it's also for vision. You just went off into the wild blue yonder over here. No, not blue. It's more like yellow yonder. No, doesn't really matter. He just ran in with the same fucking Hellions you just died to. Like, what? What are we doing here? Like, I don't know where you were going in the first place. It's like, well, I think he'll come into the third. Maybe instead of trying to predict where he'll go, maybe just, I don't know, fucking look at him. I know it sounds crazy. So, it is unacceptable. Like, there's no way. If you don't get Evo chambers by 6 minutes and you're doing something like this, there's no way. The A is already out of the question on the hope score. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. That's strike one. Do the thing. Do the buzzer. Jimmy. Strike one. Jimmy. You're fucking fired. Jesus Christ. Let them know. Well, Strike! This is like, this is unacceptable. It's not even that you like, it's full on forgot too. Like the Evo chambers don't even exist. It's not like got Evo chambers and put them off in the guest house. No, they just like, you're building a second fucking spawning pool. I assume. Well, we all know what happened here. I mean, we know what everybody's been there when they built a Evo chamber instead of a spawning pool. But I don't think I've ever seen someone build spawning pools instead of Evo chambers. Like, this is fresh. You need to, like, what I need you to do is wash your fucking hands. Because otherwise, the Dorito dust and the Mountain Dew stickiness is going to get you stuck building spawning pools instead of Evo chambers. Do most people watch the replays they send to you? I would be surprised if half the people who send me replays even have the achievement for opening one. Did you know you get an achievement for opening a replay ever? Fun fact. It's like, wow, now I have a reason to ever look at my own amazing game. Oh my god, he still doesn't, like... So, here's the... We gotta wait for the moment. The moment when the spawning pools finish. What happens then? Oh, scan. Oh no. Okay, let's see those spawning pools. Wait for it. Alright, let's get those upgrades. Nope. Come on. Everything just happens slow. Oh no, we're individually transferring drones. Jesus Christ.
Queen birth successful.
No mainling or Hydra. Well, you have Hydra speed. I like how both sides, neither side, at least he's getting upgrades. He's getting +1 mech armor, stim pack, combat shields, building armor, and also +1 mech weapons. So that's interesting. You are getting worse as time goes on. Oh, I know why he transferred an individual drone. Because he's like one of those city skylines tryhards where, oh, I can't have, it can't go into the red. Spoiler alert, yes it can. You can have up to 24, so the max limit is 3 workers per mineral patch. You have a base 8 patches. It's just like workers 22, 23, and 24 stand around a little while. It's better to have 20 workers mining one place than it is to have 4 long distance mining. But if you're one of those people, it's like, it's red, I don't like it. Well, I don't know how to help you. And now, at 9 minutes, he realizes where he fucked up. Alright. Okay, so the tanks are sieging. What do we do? Actually pull back. Give him credit. Oh, wait. Oh. I mean, there's a lot of Hydras. Okay, I like that. The Hydras seem to be... Oh, making more Zerglings, but... More shit counters less shit. That's not so bad. Oh my god, are we actually going to use Vipers? Ooh. I like how you're using Vipers, but are still on 0-0. Like, this is one of those things. You're literally just missing one of the fucking Infinity Stones right now. Yeah, you got some powerful stuff, but you need the the upgrades. If you had the upgrades, I'd say you probably just win right now. Like if it was 1-1 or 2-2, anything. I don't know, melee, range, whatever.
Exhausted.
But without them, these units are very vulnerable to things like tanks. Well, that's what Vipers are partially for, right? Like, he really wants to do this drop, doesn't he? Oh, well. Well. That medevac is all over the place. You really gave him a run for it. Oh god. And then the Vipers for the fight. Okay, Vipers, come on. No, nice. That was pretty good. Somehow the drop got out. Uh-oh. So therefore, you know what happens when the drop gets out. Everybody just fucking leaves the attack that's about to win the game. There are, like, 5 Marines and 4 Marauders in my base. So instead of winning the game, I think you're about to win the game anyways. But everybody... Oh, wait. Okay, you did it. What a player. Oh, yeah. Oh my god. And without a single upgrade ever researching. Like, it looked like you got distracted by yourself a whole lot. It is platinum. It's a B-. It's like, yeah, you used Vipers. Like, a little. But, like, you built 2 extra spawning pools, which the money doesn't matter much. But, you built 2 spawning pools, you noticed, eventually, and then it was like another 2 minutes until Evo Chambers. Like, it's like, well, that looks odd. I wonder what happened there. There's no way to know.
Oh, you are now in my service.
We had another one from our favorite top laner, Mr. Mass Queens, who, once again, yeah, does not mass queens, and that is partially why I think he has so many issues. Thank you, the great shaman. What champion top? Let me try to guess. I'm not up to date on my league, but I bet it can't be Darius. That'd be too much of a stereotype. It's probably like, probably a fucking Garen player, right? Or maybe one of the try-hard ones. Like, what's one of the try-hard It is Darius. Oh my god. Oh, well. Like, what little respect I had. It's all gone now. Like, it's all... Darius is the Terran of League, because it's like, I'm going to dunk on people. What that really means is I'm not going to coordinate with the team at all and then get annoyed when they don't tower dive with me and I just die. Am I close to the mark here? I have a 3 CS lead, therefore it's time for a dive. Wait, what went wrong here? Something went wrong. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, by the way, we gotta... You know, I feel like... No, his strike is carrying over. That is just for Platinum Zergs in general. I was gonna take it up. No, you start at 1 strike. For playing Darius. And League. Like, what went wrong here? Nothing. The Reaper came in Wait, did he proxy? Oh. I'm like, the Reaper came in really early. Did he fuck up his build? I didn't even think about it being a proxy, right? That makes sense, though.
Our forces are under attack.
Okay, so the Reaper did very little. You're building a whole bunch of like this is if you do that just basic build.
Yes.
The only thing you need to do is build more
Just
queens.
as I deserve.
Build more queens. More
New
queens.
years.
That's it. Like more it's not like you don't the thing is it's not about whether or not it's you have 650 minerals. Just build them. Like there's no reason the natural can't be living up to... You literally named yourself Mass Queens. And I know it's a reference to something outdated that I've done dozens of times since then, but... Did he drop aliens? Yeah. This guy's just proxying all over the map. See this? Thank you. I will give you credit for being kind of a demonstration of why, like, when people say things like, well, we'll see when the battlecruiser gets here. It's like, well, what do I do if he cheeses me? It doesn't matter. You're platinum. Who cares? Like, he kills 10 drones. He has 24 SCVs. If you ever knew where to put your overlords, you might even, like, if you scouted him, you might be freaking out. So thankfully, you didn't even think about what he was doing. You're just kind of going about your business. And for the most part, it's probably going to be okay. Because this is platinum. I like how a battlecruiser comes in, you won't even build more than one queen. What are you fucking rationing? I don't... Is this like, well, we had a real tough time with the last monarchy. I don't... Like, instead of building one queen, why not build 3 queens at a time? Okay, I know it sounds crazy. You have the money, though. Like, and now we're building 2. Okay. You did not get roach speed, but... The worker count is now 51 to 24 still. Because you did micro your macro. I will give you that.
Mineral field.
Wow. Couldn't have known that when mom was there.
Our forces are under attack.
There goes the battle crew. Like,
Mutation.
2-2. Don't do mutas. Don't build mutas. That's a recipe for sadness. Whatever you do, let that be an accidental muta. Uh-oh. He has 1 medevac. Here we go again. But 2-2's done. You got 51 workers still, despite losing 45. That's not bad. Okay, let's not get too crazy on the corruptors here. Okay. This, I would define, this is the very edge of the limit of crazy on the corruptors. Any more than this, once it becomes obvious he's doing what he's doing now. Good patience. You got a hive. 3-3. Like, I like how you have yet to scout him at any point. Only accidentally have you scouted him, which is the correct way. Worry about yourself, because that is your greatest enemy. Like, there hasn't even been a command center spot in this game. Uh-oh. Select all army. Go back home, everyone. Including the Broodlords. I mean, that's one way to do it. I don't mind the 11 spine crawlers. Fine, that's good. I like that. Well, I don't even know if the people saw the 11 spine crawlers, but I mean, he did kind of a silly build. We're gonna take it off. But Mr. Darius, you dunked on him. It's an A. That's, you do that, you get to diamond. Like, you didn't even scout him at all. Like, you just 45 drones died? Whatever. Shrug it off, because your greatest enemy is still yourself. Easily just walk over to the other side and kill him, because he was worried too much about you. There you go. From Sir Caster, we have a silver Protoss against a gold Terran, which is oh god. And it does not appear you actually have an SC2 replay set. I can be Dream. What's that? What the fuck are you saying? I want to be the next printf, he says. Oh god. So many things going wrong so far. That did supply block your opponent. So you brought one probe. The one thing... The one thing you should know, like, if you've ever, like, when you say printf, I assume you're talking about the idea of printf, not actually being printf. Because the basic rule of cannon rushing is bring at least 2 probes. Second probe is on the way. You think? Like, I see 1 probe here. Let's see, that's 1 probe. You have 15 probes. There are 14 probes here. So I don't know where this magical fucking cloaked probe is. Never mind, I'm dumb. You already established that. Okay. Nice response, by the way. So the best time... Okay, let me point out another thing to you. This is way more logic than anyone in this level of the Meta Leagues has ever really had. In fact, but here's the thing. Like, I don't know if a gold player has what it takes, but a Bronze League hero or a higher level player would realize that even if you do cannon rush the main, what happens if he just flies to his natural? I know, we're thinking, like, dramatically into the future. But what if he just leaves? He's kind of just shutting it all down, which, he's going to lose. 1 cannon just kind of finishes, which is... Okay, so you have spent One, well, I think there were like 2 or 3 other pylons. We'll put 450 because of all the other stuff. 450, 550, 650, 750, 900, 1050, 1200, 1350, 1450 on cannon rushing him. He built a 50-50 Reaper. I never did that math before. I would be surprised if you ever did math before.
Base is under attack.
Okay, so that Reaper can pretty much win the game on its own, which I assume is the case, and this game is about 2 minutes longer. So, by the way, this replay has no value other than the mild entertainment I get from any amount of commentary trying to say this was a smart or good or fun strat. He countered it by just leaving. It reminds me of the often quoted but still incredibly misleading, but don't get Neil deGrasse Tyson started, but of the story like, so NASA spent however many millions of dollars developing a pen that would work in space because it didn't have gravity for the ballpoint, all that. Millions of dollars, hundreds of people got involved, and eventually they got one. The Russians brought a pencil. Now in reality, the pencil shavings and graphite and all that can really muck up your space station, but I don't even think you could even, like, reading the directions on a fucking Lego space station would be an achievement for you. So I think we can apply this. Let's not get too far into the weeds here, like I assume you already are. What if he just shoots over the top? Oh, he's just... Okay, well... Maybe a little bit too... Oh, maybe he's a little too addicted to this strat. Okay. Okay. So, he did realize finally if he kills the probe, he kills the prom. Unfortunately, he went from a smooth response into... Yeah. It looked good for him for a bit, but there's a reason that you're matched with him. Let's put it that way. What is the correct response? You take your units that shoot bullets, and you kill the fucking probe. That is the correct response.
Our pylon is under attack.
Remember, he had a Reaper. Even if he, for some reason, couldn't afford a Marine, he had a Reaper before the second cannon rush started. Let's just remember that. Now, so from here, remember, there's still 12 more minutes of game. It's not so much that the cheese was effective. It was the mental damage it did was effective. I do like the transition into building a bunch of Nexi and probes. That is actually very good. It pains me to say. Now, I have a build for you. What if you skipped the entire first 6 minutes of the game and just did everything you did after that. 5 minutes. If you just skipped all that, you wouldn't have lost 1,987 resources killing, like, 5 SCVs. Those stalkers. Yep. I never realized that I lost so much before. You obviously haven't gotten your watch replay achievement. So where do you think, like, what kind of magical money do you think those pylons and cannons came from? Let alone, like, it's not just you're spending that money, but it's money that's not being spent on building a gateway. Like, eventually you'll get a player who just floats to his natural and kills all your probes with a Reaper, and that is the reason why cannon rushing Terran is best left to printf. That's the summary. So you built a Templar Archives. You got 3 bases. You got a solid amount of probes. Like, this is turning into a surprising macro game. You got a Forge, and you got +1. So, let's count. I know, math is like a new concept for everyone involved here. So, he has 2 bases. All right? Let's count them up. We'll use blocks. Okay, he has 2 bases. Okay? You have 3 Nexi. Which one is more? I'll give you a minute. The squares are bigger. Yes. Okay. So, when you have 3 bases, and he only has 2, you are not under the obligation to try to kill him. In fact, that is the... I don't know what your plan is here with 1 sentry, but because by definition, he has less territory to defend, and you have more economy. So why not take advantage of it by, I don't know, not losing your whole army? Archons are very good, but so are tanks on the high ground. Apparently not good enough. Did we get charge? Oh, these are non-charge lots. That orbital just kind of fucking died. LOL GG, it's been fun. Might I remind you, there are still 6 minutes left in this game. You know you're in Silver League where someone GG's and nobody's mad, but the game is still 5 minutes from ending. Okay? Like, offensive GG's, whatever. Yes, that happens. But, like, if there's still 5+ minutes left, it's like, oh, I found these DTs. Or I found this Liberator. Or, oh, did you know battle cruisers exist? Like, so that is the reason why, at the higher levels, it's not considered polite to GG back. In fact, most players try to leave the game before other people get the opportunity. Because when you type GG, it's considered impolite to type GG and wait for the other person to GG back. Why? Because at the higher levels, we're not thinking, oh, that was a fun game. We're thinking, why hasn't he left yet? Where's the DTs? That's immediate. Like, after, if they haven't left the game for 2 seconds after the GG, I'm immediately like putting up detection. Because it's just a gimmick. Like, that immediate response. There is no politeness. I do appreciate the commitment to the gateways so we can make this like the Legacy of the Void trailer. Once again, do we need to bring back the squares and the triangles? Thank you, Boz. Alright. Liberators are pretty good. It's an like, let's look at that unit's loss tab. Yeah, you've never really done math before, have you? When you have this many, how many gateways is that? 17.
Assault data locked.
Okay, the Widow Mines are gonna hit again. Oh. The base dies. Widow Mines are just gonna keep. The thing, like, when you have this economy, you can. Oh my god. And there's slow warpins. Probably doesn't know about super pylons. Who knew that pylons that are next to a warp gate or nexus warp in 3 times as fast? They're technically called warp conduit, but that sounds dumb. Whereas pylons looking like the Legacy trailer, not so much. Really? So that tells me you haven't watched literally 1 minute of my guides. So, I mean, you did a cannon rush. Fucking really me. Oh my god. We are still, well, +2 attack, okay. No, I haven't. Thank you for your money, though. I don't know what we're doing, flipping around all these pylons here. There we go again. How many? By the way, he does have this base. I think he just landed it, but he could have had that base mining the whole time, thus really throwing the squares and triangles out of whack. Oh my gosh. You're zoomed in. Zoom out. Zoom your game out. Use the scroll wheel to zoom your fucking game out. Oh my god. You're literally zoomed in. Like, zoom your game out. I go to his camera. He's just literally fucking zoomed in. Like, it's more cinematic that way. If you zoomed in, you could zoom out. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is part of the reason it's so hard. So I bet you're wondering, I don't know if you actually are, but LOL GG. That's the second LOL GG. And that one was for real. Oh my god. It's like, well, it makes me feel more immersed. It's like, oh god, I don't know if this is something you want to immerse yourself in. So, what that game was sad. That was a sad game. The hope score is sad. So, good luck. If you don't play the game, then I don't feel obligated to. I mean, eventually you did, but that start was painful. They seem pretty happy. That was not a, oh, I'm super chill, LOL, from Mr. Tom. Also, this is how you know you're in the Metal Leagues. When people name themselves their fucking names. It's like we got Mark versus Tom going down. Only at the very high and very low levels do people name themselves Tom. I don't... He usually goes by Thomas, but he's more casual online. I don't know. When he gets home from his job selling headlight fluid at the office, middle management, he wants to go home and just roll up his shirt sleeves and take off his bootstraps and just call himself Tom. Alright, Jolly Bully. What was this? What was it? This is Platinum Protoss. Jolly Bully against Kim Jong-il. So, good luck.
More power.
He says, I feel like a mess in PvP. I'm sure I'm just bad, but I like getting yelled at. So the key to PvP, well, Platinum is borderline when we can pretend to have actual builds. It's borderline, because it's still mostly just do a build that isn't like making 2 stalkers, microing them, and then forgetting to get any other tech and not getting a second pylon. But like, why do we wall off? Okay, why do we do the 2 gate and why do we wall off? The reason is because Protoss units are good. So if they have more Protoss units, that's the 2 gate reason. If they have more Protoss units, they have 2 or 4 Protoss units, we have 1 or 2, that's not enough. And we wall off because we can make a temporary wall against Adepts. I would argue at Platinum, when Adepts are trying to shade up, unless you're just staring at it, I don't know if a wall is really worth it, but it's good to get in the habit of it. It appears our opponent here doesn't really give a shit. So he's just doing his 1 gate expand, which perfectly fine. And technically, you can be like, well, I'm going to do a 4 gate and kill him, because technically you should be able to. But let's not get too crazy worrying about what Mr. Kim Jong-il is doing. Let's worry about ourselves. Okay, I like that response. Build a bunch of probes. Don't get a second gate. Oh, get a second gate after the cyber, though? Okay, whatever.
Pylon.
And then... Wait, what? And then... Oh. Why over here? Like... What? You're still, like, a solid... If this were a Lord of the Rings journey, they would, by the time your units finish camping here to start, they would have a montage of them crossing a bunch of mountains, and by the time they get to the base, they're gonna camp again and have a heartfelt conversation before probably going in to die because you took so fucking long. I don't know why I was feeling like Lord of the Rings, but... Oh, I like the Robo, actually. The Robo's fine. I thought you were going to do, like, a straight 4 gate. I still, like, it's still super far away, but, like... What? You're doing a proxy Robo 3 gate expand. See, when I say it like that, let me say it like it's a build. Oh, so a proxy Robo 3 gate expand? What I'm trying to say is, you just committed your main tech building and a lot of your production to an attack, and then you're like, I didn't really want to warp in because I was supply blocked anyways.
I am here in the shadows.
Is this game just over? Of course not. Why isn't it? You should just, okay, so he has, let's count it. Oh my god, he forgot warp gate. Of course he did. He has 4 Stalkers and 3 Zealots, and he doesn't have Warp Gate because he fucking forgot. These are the people you're facing. You have 8 Stalkers and an Immortal. You win. Let's see how you fuck it up. All you have to do is not try too hard. Okay, you kill his expansion. Like, I don't mind not outright winning the game right here. You know what? No, we're gonna go up the ramp. Okay. That's some more, like, wait, how don't you win the game right? I don't, what the fuck? How is the game not over? Oh, because you lost the Immortal. Oh god, stop it. Build probes! I don't know. Hey. Why the fuck are you recalling? What are his non-charged zealots gonna yell mean things at you? I don't... This is your... I'm leaving... I'm no longer going to be on that side of the map. I mean, that is the correct call. You probably should have made it a little earlier, but whatever. Like, I don't mind. Like, this is fine.
Mineral field depleted.
Besides the supply blocks and the kind of indecisive build, killing the Nexus and having your own, good to go. Your pro production, still shit, but Immortal, Archon charge slot, the basics, the bread and butter.
Mineral patch is gone. It's not gone.
Oh, you forgot about the Archon part. This is the beauty of mirror matchups, especially in the meta leagues. When you see players, so there are two big options. The lower down you go, the more the second option. The first option is you see, oh yeah, Archons, and you're like, oh shit, I should make Archons. The second option, this happens a lot in TVT, where it's like, oh, he built Archons? How can I counter that? Guess we gotta get Void Rays, because he already picked Archons, so I can't build those. Like, it's especially bad in TVT. It's like, well, he made tanks, so I'm gonna build Thors. Like, I finished.
Upgrade.
I like this is a good game.
Pylons are the
It's not a great
powerhouse
game.
of the Protoss.
It's a good game. I would recommend for your attack warp in like 3 adepts. Instead of having 8 stalkers, if you had 5 stalkers and 3 adepts, you would have easily gotten through the zealots. And a lot of the time, he'll have adepts,
Pylons, or free up some supply.
and they're even cheaper than the stalkers, but they would have been better. How convenient. Now, don't do that. You should have 8 gates by this point. Like, honestly, you probably should have like 12 gates, but you have 6, which is not 8. Math expert. Honestly, no, not that. By the time you're taking a 4th, you should be considering a cannon or 2 in each mineral line, because we both know how DTs are gonna fuck up your day if they get in the wrong angle.
Under enemy attack. Your upgrade is complete.
What toss unit does counter Archons? More Archons. And Disruptors a little.
You must construct additional pylons.
Okay. This was a good move. Now just don't... No. Okay, so... This is like the worst possible fight you could be taking. Your Archons and Char's like you knew where he was coming from, is the thing. Like, you have plenty of time. It doesn't really matter, because you have way too much shit, but... Oh my god. Your Archons are all tripping over each other to get a better view. So you just win, right?
I've never seen this screen before. Wow.
It's a B+ because it looked like you tripped over yourself trying to figure out how to do a build. But everything past the early game figuring out what to do. Yeah, you're not allowed to send in a loss to Angry Coach. Like, I'm surprised there are even people who aren't in GM, considering the average win rate of about 95% of these fucking replays. It's impressive that, like, not everyone is GM in my chat, even though statistically that would be more Grandmasters than there could even be in the world. What happened to you picking the replay? I only do that when I actually want to put in effort. Which is not right now. We're all GM on this blessed day. I mean, I'm actually GM, but I am ranked 200 GM right now, and don't you forget it. Unless somebody left. In which case, maybe. There's a chance. GM, why is it so bright? Ikamoni is a Gold League Terran. Thank you, ODST Jacob, for sending in. We got one more. I saw Tart Turtle or something had one where he had slightly better taste, but it's doubtful.
SCV ready.
Okay, so both players don't realize you're supposed to send out your first SCV to build a depot. There's a reason why you have 200 minerals right now. Instead of, like, you send out the first SCV, not the second SCV. There's literally nothing else. Oh, I bit my tongue. There's literally nothing else to do besides build your first depot. That's it. But, well, okay, so at least you built one. This guy, on the other hand, this is your opponent. Your opponent hasn't even built a depot yet. Literally, whoever builds a Reaper is just going to win the game. I seriously doubt they're just going to win the game. This is Gold League, let's be honest here. It's not even, like, a player can have a battle cruiser in a mineral line against a player who has no units and still lose. I believe. We've seen, like, we're still in... Gold League is home to many of the Bronze League heroes. Bronze League heroes is about the idea. It's about embracing the spirit of a Bronze League hero, whether willingly or otherwise. So it stands to reason that there's a whole lot of silver and gold in there as well.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Okay, so you canceled an SCV, but I wanna just see how done the SCV was. I don't like. This isn't even the right timing.
Command center upgrade.
I like how I said the command center was upgraded. You're like, yes, it is. And that was the end of that conversation. No mules, no SCVs.
Grim Reaper.
That's... like, build SCVs. Build SCVs. Build SCVs. All you have to do is build SCVs. I don't give a shit about what the rest of your build is if you're not building SCVs. This game is... it's not easy, but it's simple. Either you build more workers and get more money to get more shit than your opponent, or you don't. And so far, you're not. You just didn't build SCVs for a while. And what's going to happen later on when there's actually anything happening? So now you made the mistake of scouting your opponent, thinking that that's going to be relevant in this game. I recommend next time, just don't fucking scout. If he scans you, you can scan him back. Counter scan meta. That's it. No more scouting. Not until you work out your domestic issues. Because I have no idea what, like, I'm pretty sure you're like flipping through a bunch of... it's like flipping through a recipe book. And you put the chicken in the oven. There's a scenario in which you put chicken in ovens, right? I cook. And then you're like, no, actually. And then you take it out. And you put it in the microwave. It's like, no, that's worse. I
SCV ready.
just because it makes you feel good doesn't mean it's a good idea. And now we come over the next hurdle that a Gold Leaguer must climb. It seems like a dizzying height, but it's just building a fucking starport before the 5-minute mark. Maru can have a battlecruiser in his opponent's base at 5 minutes and 25 seconds. While having 2 extra command centers, mind you. All I want you to do is start building a fucking starport before the 5-minute mark. That is your challenge. I don't need a battlecruiser in an enemy base with 3 CCs by 5:25. I just want a starport to be built by 5 minutes. Think we can get there?
Your CC is now
It's a real struggle.
ECC.
You'd be surprised. Like, that SCV built the depot. It is like... what's up with this shit? Built, by the way, completely unnecessary depot. There it is, a starport. At least we did that. You do not need to be at 29 out of 54. Like, maybe if you built fucking SCVs, you could justify half of these depots.
This better be good.
Oh, we're gonna get some more depot. Like, at what point, if you have... Okay. So, you should have approximately 1 depot per about 10 SCVs. Okay? You have 23 fucking SCVs. Because a command center counts as 2 depots, by the way. So, effectively here, you have now... You're going on 5 depots. And you have 20 SCVs. Which is, if I'm gonna... Okay, let's see. 23 divided by 5 equals... too fucking many. I don't care. Wait, like, how am I supposed to spend my money? I don't know. This seems like a circular problem. If you spend all your fucking money on depots instead of building SCVs, you're gonna wonder how else to spend all your money because you're spending it all on depots instead of SCVs. Oh my god. And the beauty of the depots is how are you fucking confused? Do you know depots can lower? Did you just like transplant straight out of a Brood War campaign mission? I don't... Like, how are you confused as to what the problem is? Alright, there you go. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Here we go again. Gotta make... Okay. It's like an airlock. We gotta make sure we keep all the inbred decision-making locked in. We don't want it outside the family. Roll Tide.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Like, that SCV's just staring at the second set of depots like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
SCV ready.
Add-on finished up. You picked that.
Do we have 2 set? Oh my god. There you go. Oh, and the tech just sieges anyways.
You're all mined out of that mineral field.
Ready for dust.
SCV ready.
Now you actually need depots. I'll give you that.
Ready.
Add-on complete.
Mm-hmm.
SCV ready.
Like, now that we've... This is what happens when you skip from the 30-second to the 6 to 8 minute mark of the build guide. At least it feels like what happens. Because there are like 4 or 5 minutes in here that nobody wants to... Like, we'll just pretend it never happened. Because now, like, if you just skip to this point, and I just didn't see anywhere between 0 seconds and 6 minutes, and I skipped here, I'm like, looks a little weird, but 3 racks, 3 CC, getting 2 engineering bays, like, that's pretty good for gold. But unfortunately, you had a confusing childhood with this build. We'll see if it comes back to haunt you. And also, what the fuck is this? Magfield Accelerator. You haven't had to Is that... Do you think that's siege mode?
SCV ready.
Do you even know what Magfield Accelerator does? You might be like, increases lock-on damage. Wrong! It only... Well, mostly wrong. Did you know it only increases lock-on damage against armored units? And also, you only have 1 Cyclone? And also, why are you getting Magfield for the clone? Oh my fucking god, are you... The only drop I want you to fucking think about is my IQ after reading this. Jesus Christ. You think drops are your problem right now? You're not Skrillex trying to write the same fucking kitchen step bullshit for the 47th time and selling it to Zoomers like it's legal weed. Jeez. You need to upgrade. Like, isn't there an argument to be made that maybe getting 1-1 for your Marines, that you're actually going... What if your Marines had upgrades? They'd be pretty good against drops, too. And how are you going to defend a drop without 43 turrets? I just want you to think. Like, there was a moment of clarity here. Alright, there was a moment where it looked like you had found the path. You had 3 barracks, you built 3 CCs, you actually built SCVs, you're getting engineering bays, and then you hit me with this shit out of nowhere, like you're a plot device for Interstellar, and then I don't know anymore. It's like, once again, like Interstellar, it's like, what? The power of love? The fuck you on about? What? Oh, this movie was so decent. Like, still annoyed about it. I don't... It's okay, I saw it in IMAX, so that made up for a lot of it.
CC upgrade done. You remembered.
SCV ready.
The cost of the upgrade is negligible, but the cost of having this as an active thought is incalculable. The upgrade itself and the cost of it is not the problem. It wasn't a problem. It was like, okay, whatever, fuck it. Until this. This is when it becomes a problem.
It's go time. Who wants some?
Your research is complete.
This better be good.
Research of...
Doesn't Maru have a cyclone in case of a drop? Oh, thank you for adding that, Keppa. No upgrade for clones. Noted. No, 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 no. That's not what it means. It means that if you are spending any amount of time thinking about clones instead of doing pretty much anything else, especially after that early game, like, if you came in, we have a history, okay? What I'm trying to say is I saw the first 6 minutes of this game, and what I saw, it looked like a toddler finger painting on LSD. It's like, I think I get what you're getting at, and I can't tell if it's the LSD, and also don't give LSD to toddlers. That's a perfectly good waste of LSD. But, at the same, like, I can't tell if it's just because you're a toddler, or, like, what the fuck is going on? I think, okay, but...
You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief. Upgrade.
And now, remember, if you don't have it, if your base doesn't look cool, like we're playing Command and Conquer or some shit,
It's all done.
then what's the
Your
point?
add-on is all done.
So, because in the back of your mind, your brain knows, you can hear me yelling at you, even if, like it can't be coded into the game, no matter how many silly YouTube comments, like, if it doesn't say build a second pylon, it's like, how would they code that into the game? Did you think for 3 seconds? But anyways, I'm not going to sit there and be like, make upgrades, but I will comment when they finish. You know what you're supposed to be doing there. It's breaking through a little.
Mind out of that cluster. Nice. Supply depots are in short. Mineral pad is gone. Research
Like,
is not coming.
It eventually comes together once we finish making sure the character selection screen is just right. For a game that you never see your character again. Oh.
You're at on.
Like, in gold, maxing out at all is already an achievement. Especially before 15 minutes. Like, it's hard to say a player who makes upgrades and maxes out before 15 minutes
Ready for dust
isn't going to get out of gold. Because you will. Jesus Christ. Nice scouting. Okay.
Research
Yep,
complete.
he's over there.
ready for dust off.
Like, if you max out at 12 minutes with 2 upgrades, welcome to Platinum. Okay. So, he's got a fuck ton. He's turtling, building a bunch of turrets.
Mind out of that
So,
cluster.
no, good thing we
And
got that
stone the game.
upgraded
Ah,
fucking
finished up.
clone.
You pick.
That clone, like we have, there is 139 army supply, but this 3 is the only stuff we can risk because let's dispel with the rumor we were ever going to use hotkeys.
That one. Mineral field depleted.
Oh my god. Go A-click. Every second you're not A-clicking, you're making it actually a viable strategy for him to sit there and build a bunch of siege tanks and battle cruisers. Like, every minute, there's like a 10% higher chance you're gonna fuck this up. Oh no. Thankfully... Oh no. I mean, like, don't do this. Like... Don't. Vikings. You know what? You know who else can build battle cruisers? You can. You can also build battle cruisers. Like, you could keep him on 2 bases instead of on, guess fucking what? He's on 4! But everybody knows that you might be like, this is the mini-map. No, that's where you'd be wrong. This is the mini-map. And that's the reason he can't see it. That's the mini-map we're working with here, unfortunately. Making it difficult. Like, if he's on 2 bases and you're on 4 bases, maybe you should go look and see if he has more bases. Or we could just die every single time someone takes a hit. Shut up. Game. Wait. Oh. Are the wheels turning?
Refinery.
Thors? Vikings? Fine. Good.
Research finished, but I'm still waiting on high-sec auto tracking. Mineral patch is gone, and it's not coming.
Ready to blunder.
A mineral
But, unfortunately, there isn't the wheels aren't turning enough.
field.
You can not, like... Are you going to accidentally scout it? The only way this is going to happen is you're going to accidentally come across another base. It's like, huh. Wonder how he got there.
From that cluster, you thief.
Oh my god. Oh, wait a second. Oh, you didn't have enough energy to scan, which means there's no way to see if there's a base
Their
there.
forces are just a little bit back.
If only you had enough energy to scan, we could have figured that out. But... Thank you! Well, okay, we'll turn it to... We'll turn it to followers. Oh wait, can I just turn it to? We'll turn followers off. Okay, but I will turn it back on. So make sure to follow. Thank you, CDN the Third, for the raid as we are dismantling. Thank you very much. Hopefully, that's a lot of batteries. And now I have to be like, okay, wait a second. That's not a Starcraft streamer. Believe it or not. But thank you guys for... Oh, yeah, Warcraft. Yeah, I thought so. The other guy who's not grubby, right? Like, one of the two. Thank you for all that positive energy. And
You are now in my
gifting to the people. So, with all that positive energy, for those who don't know, who are joining us, I am Angry Coaching.
You are now in my service.
You know what? We'll make a special occasion. Jimmy, play the ad. Jimmy. We have visitors. Jimmy,
You are
play
now
the
in my
fucking ad.
service.
I don't know. This is a Christian Minecraft server, so. But Angry Coach, let me explain. And
are
thank you
now
very
in my
much.
service.
Play the thing.
You are now in
Now,
my
Jimmy.
service.
If we don't play it soon, people are gonna get distracted and wonder what's wrong with you. And now since there's no music, it's actually just real
You are
awkward.
now in my service.
And unfortunately, play it. Yes, there's only one. Okay.
You are now in my service.
Welcome everyone. I'm Winter. And today we're doing Angry Coach. Are you a StarCraft player who's played like 4 games since Wings of Liberty and just don't know what went wrong when you never scouted your opponent for 20 minutes and then you just died? Are you a Gold Protoss player? Are you a Platinum Zerg? Are you a Diamond Terran? Well then, you are a stereotype as well as being the perfect candidate for Angry Coach. You've seen other streamers do real coaching where they have schedules and actually listen to what you have to say, but I kind of cut out the middleman being you, and tell you, fuck you, pay me, we're gonna learn why you're as bad as you think you aren't. Angry Coach is all about telling it like it is, because I don't have time for all the other bullshit. I used to do regular coaching, not anymore. Half the time people didn't show up, and the other half the time they didn't learn anything of it anyways. So, if you'd like to participate in Angry Coach, you're probably wrong. But use the Angry Coach command, check out YouTube, or do all those other exciting things today. Thank you guys for sticking around. Jimmy, you're fired after the stream. Anyway, so since the mini-map is limited to literally fucking... Okay, let me just... Now, I will explain to you why he doesn't, because everybody knows until you download the minimap DLC, which is unlocked when you get to Diamond, this is actually what the minimap looks like. And therefore, our Terran hero thinks he is on 3 bases or 4 bases against 2 bases, but instead is against, like, 9 fucking bases and is completely blind, and also maybe deaf, but not as important for StarCraft. You can be like, I play with music, as they say, techno music blasting all the time. So,
No more gas.
so what else is there to do when we've tried nothing and we're all out of options? What else is there to do but stim everyone and run up the ramp into the only base that could possibly exist, which is defended by, is that a planetary? Of course it is. A planetary, a bunch of battle cruisers, and ravens. Because this is the only option left to us. Let's bring up the units lost tab. So I do mention in my guides, if you max out by 15 minutes, you're gonna get out of gold. The only exception is essentially exactly that right there. That is the Bronze League Heroes exception. The player that has run up a ramp into a wall of some kind so many times they have permanent brain damage and are incapable of learning from their mistakes or using their imagination to think about other options. Like, there was a moment where he was going to scout this base, but he did not have energy for scan. And since we do not use control groups for units, because that would be just too fucking complicated for the 2 neurons we're putting together, then there's no other way to scout. We all know that. Need I remind you? For the clone. Thank you again, by the way. CDN the third. How's the Reforged beta going? I was playing it a month or 2 ago. About a month. It was like a month. But there were a lot of bugs that made it kind of just rough to play overall. I'm no good at Warcraft, but that game is hard. They got too many things to click on. I like when you can do everything but this in StarCraft. He was playing StarCraft 2. Stop stealing my fucking... Go back to Warcraft! But not like the other channel. Get him out of here. Not playing StarCraft 2. What a bandwagon. Oh my god. Premier strategy game. He doesn't play Warcraft as much as you think. Oh, I searched it, and he had a bunch of Warcraft videos on his channel. And I was like, we'll run with that.
Oh, you are now in my service.
Don't worry. There's StarCraft 2, which is the best game, and then Warcraft 3, which is up there, like top 3, along with Goose Game. And then any other game is worse. So we'll run with the Warcraft.
Armed and ready. War is here.
Thank you, Hawkeye. What makes SC2 so good? StarCraft is the perfect blend. Well, not the perfect blend. No game is perfect. But between being a blend of both physical, mechanical skill, as well as actual strategy in terms of builds and meta and counters and things like that, it has maintained and continues to be the #1 RTS game currently and possibly of all time. Like, you don't get Brood War players getting Brood Wars. Okay. The graphics, I think most people would agree, still hold up. It's a 10-year-old game now. It's going on year 10. But the graphics still hold up. Way better than many strategy games that came up after it.
And it's not coming back.
It is free to play now, by the way. In case you don't know, StarCraft 2 multiplayer is free to play. And you can find some guides with the guides command. Check it out.
This better be good.
Add-on finished up. You
Oh, yeah, Halo. I played the Halo Wars beta. Wait, was it Halo Wars 2? I don't know. I can't believe they made a second one. It's like Star Wars movies. It's like, oh no. Stop while you're ahead. Okay, so the Thors are dealing with this. And also, you might be like, well, isn't StarCraft not that popular? It's still plenty popular. There's still hundreds of thousands of players. It's just not as popular as games like Battle Royale or League of Legends and like Overwatch and all that, because a 1v1 game doesn't give you the satisfaction of feeling like, well, there are 99 other players, so even if I lose, I can still do pretty well. Or being able to blame your teammates for your losses. You can only blame the relatively solid balance of StarCraft 2, which doesn't affect players of the Diamond and Gold and Platinum leagues, but they like to think it does because they're delusional, like our friend here who doesn't have the minimap. So the reason StarCraft 2 is not more popular than it is because people are bitches and can't take responsibility for their mistakes, which is why they send me their replays and $15 or more with it. So thank you for that.
You took all the minerals from that cluster, you thief.
Not as much of a bitch as someone who didn't send me a replay. I'll give you
Mineral
that.
field depleted. Maximum supply. It's time to raise your TPM. That Vespene Geysers depleted.
War is here.
Okay. The scan volley. And you're like, oh, I found his base. Little did you know. There's like a 0% chance Ikamoni watched this replay. Or even went back to it before. Because this guy has mined out the entire fucking map. This guy is the British Empire of Terran players, and you're over there attacking fucking Scotland over and over. That's where we are right now.
Upgrade complete. But at what cost?
The main reason, it's because it's too complex and kid games like League are more accessible. That's a bullshit argument. StarCraft has 3 races with about 17 units and a handful of spellcasters. With League of Legends, you have to memorize a goddamn encyclopedia of champions just to get their fucking names, let alone knowing what roles and spells they do. The only reason is you can blame your team and you only have to stare at one thing at a time. It's not about how simple the game is. Arguably, StarCraft, well, not inarguably, StarCraft is simpler to understand if you put any semblance of time in. It's just, it's more accessible because you have less blame and responsibility. Bullshit. Fucking explain League of Legends to someone who doesn't know what League of Legends is. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go buy items, and then you're gonna kill guys. No, those aren't actually the guys. They're just... No, those are AI. But there's also guys on the other side. There's 5 of them. And then there are lanes. Okay, but... No, it's not a car game. That's Rocket League. Okay. I don't know. I feel like I don't need to say this, but I'm gonna say it. When you're up against battle cruisers, I would recommend not losing your Vikings to a planetary fortress. Starcraft. Build the Space Marines and their big robots, or the the shiny aliens and their fancy lasers, or the bugs with their many bugs, and mash them all into each other. Alright, there's many flavors of bugs, but you only really need 2 or 3.
Your base is under assault.
I like how you have this army kills these battlecruisers, by the way. That's like 9, that's not that many battlecruisers. You can walk back. Little does he know, there's like... Ikamoni, tell me right now. We're going back to followers mode, because thank you, CDN, for that. I hope I keep people entertained. We still have one more replay at least after this. Maybe I'll actually ladder, probably not. So what I found... So, I've streamed StarCraft full-time for... This will be year 6 we're going on. And I've been playing StarCraft since it came out. But only recently, like, a lot of people are like, why aren't you playing? Because I am ranked 200 on NA. I'm a Grandmaster random player, which means there are 200 better players. But I'm really banking on the fact that I'm better at talking about StarCraft than 200. Like, there aren't 200 people ahead of me on that count. You want to go watch some Koreans get carpal tunnel at age 21, I'm sure there's a stream for that, right? Is Pult streaming right now? Pult is actually 30, so you should go check him out if you want to. Pult is amazing. He's actually back in the US now. But don't leave. Do that later.
Your precious base. It's a so bad today.
Ikamoni, did you look at the replay of this before you sent it in? That's all I ask.
The enemy is attacking your base. Lined out of that cluster. And still in the game? Nice.
Yes, I did, and that's why I sent it in. You looked at this replay. You say you looked at this replay where your opponent built more bases than, like, a fucking Civilization game. And you're like, that's the one. I felt my army was stronger than better and better. What? What about your fucking brain? I don't, like... You see, the reason you're losing is because you look at this replay, you're like, that's the one I want to send in for critique. That's the one. The one where he mines out the entire... It looks like... I guess your army actually is, though, because it looks like you're about to win the game. Oh, wait. Or not. I don't...
Your add-on is out of gas at that guy's.
Yep.
Mined out of that cluster.
Thors kind of just counter everything, don't they? It's true, though. Thors are amazing. Like, not even as a meme now. Like, with this patch, with their anti-air attack speed buff,
Mineral patch
they
is
are
gone.
amazing. They are just generally amazing. Yeah, he went up a ramp one time, and legend has it, he never came back down.
Max supply. Time to race. Your CC upgrade done. You remember this? Max supply.
I like how 4 Thors pounded into this planetary, but we got 1 Liberator to solve the problem.
Time to make some bad choices.
I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it until we had the Liberator.
The enemy is all over your SCV.
There's a lot of things he could have done to have this easily. But he took the narrow and dangerous path that was not doing any of them.
Your precious base.
There were a few things he could do to fuck this up,
Dozens of bases
but
to build.
he managed to do them.
Your SCVs will be DED if you don't stop
Oh, what a play. Outplayed.
Base under attack. Time to lift to the corner, right?
So now we're gonna chase battle cruisers. You know, the battle cruisers are gonna make you accidentally scout all of his bases, which is beautiful, by the way. He's leading you around. Just stop doing this. Just don't. Like, just don't. Actually, at this point, you have fucking 19 Thors. You got more Thors than merch in a Marvel store. I don't know. That wasn't very good. Like, you've already scanned 14 times to scout. Scan up the damn ramp. He has the high ground.
Maru and Cyril make it look
And
so
you just
easy.
leave? It was the 5th time he went up that ramp. The 5th time is what broke him. He could have done anything. Like, he never, at any point, had the initiative to actually do anything but go up the ramp. At no point did he, of his own volition, do anything but attack this ramp. At one point, he accidentally, because of the battlecruisers, kind of killed a base, but that was under duress. The entire game was attacking up this fucking ramp without vision. You thought your army was better. Something like, for most of the game, in fact, right up until the very end, your army was better. Actually, I don't even think you've lost the game yet, which is impressive. But I don't. Yeah, probably lost it. But up until the very end, your army was better. But you, on the other hand, there are nice ways to put it, but and then there are not so nice ways to put it. If, let's put it this way, if people said your IQ was room temperature, I would still question why they have the thermostat so high. For a hope score, when it comes to hope score, a hope score is, if you get a C, that means I think you belong where you are. Below that is, I don't even know how you got here. Above that is how much I think you're going to improve in the relatively near future if you play a decent amount of games. That's a D+. Because remember, it is gold, and he did max out before 15 minutes. And 2/3 of his opponents aren't Terran. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets stuck in silver MMR. But 2/3 of his opponents are less capable of taking the entire map while he forgets it exists. Just keep that in mind. ODST Jacob with a Platinum Terran. So we're going to move up a league. Okay. I want to thank CDN the Third. Once again, I'm going to have to check him out. I've heard the name, apparently. But I have to figure out how to be an actual fucking variety streamer. Been doing the Starcraft thing for a long time. Remember that time I played Apex Legends for like a week, guys? And then I kept getting killed by people with TTV in their name and realized I was bad? Anyways.
SCV ready.
Platinum Terran against Zerg.
SCV ready.
Additional.
So Platinum Cause we gotta, I don't know, from CDN, but we'll just, I'm gonna ask, and this is bait to get you to follow, by the way. Let's just make that clear, but. I'm going to ask people... you know what? No, I'm not going to ask people not to... Just... How much StarCraft have you played or watched? Pretty much none is like... I could name you the races and some of the units, but I'm not sure what they all do. A lot. Well, it's important that I included the watch part, though, right? This is what, so many people. Not to call anyone out, but maybe you played a little bit of Brood War back in the day when you were a teenager, or maybe a little younger. Or maybe you played Wings of Liberty, like 5, 6, 8 years ago. It's actually more like 8 years ago. And you played in like you were in college or whatever, but now you're going on 30, or maybe you're in your 30s. You got responsibilities. You have a job. You got kids. You got other things, like you're looking for one, and it's just too stressful. So I will vicariously watch nerds on the internet who do things that I wish I could have done, but not really, and I kind of stopped doing over half a decade ago. So. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of it.
SCV ready.
That's my target demographic.
SCV ready.
I did cheat a little by doing the like 20s, 30s. It's like, wow, it's quite a range.
SCV ready.
Okay, so we made it thus far. The most important thing for, like, because I was about to describe, like, the very basics of why you do a Reaper expansion. You've seen Reaper expansion. But Platinum does, I feel like most Platinum players, especially ones that know how to send in a replay to me, don't, like, they have the idea of how they're supposed to play in their head. But no plan, literally no plan, survives contact with the enemy. As in, if anything happens, that plan is liable to go right out the fucking window, and it may never come back. StarCraft is all about making sure that plan survives more than the first 2 minutes. And then 2 more minutes. And then 2 more minutes after that. And you might be like, Winter, very bold of you to assume I had a plan. A lot of people I see, like, they have a plan, and then they get into the game, they're like, oh yeah, barracks. Like, they get into the game, and they're a little bit late, and they're like, oh yeah, that's what Winter said. Robo, or third base, or engineering bay. Like, I don't... You see, I like to be racially inclusive, because I'm a random player, which means I hate all the races equally. But especially Terran. Fucking Terran players. Like, what is this depot? Are you supply blocked? You're like, how do I do a Hellion build without the Hellions and then forget what I was doing? If you flip these, there's like a 70% chance you end up going Hellions after this. Did you just fucking forget? Or are you going to build a siege tank and try to turtle up? I mean, there's a small percentage chance you're actually like, well, he doesn't have a third, so I should get a tank and scout. In which case, respectable. He has a lair. I would recommend, while that's happening, you build units, but you know what? I'll give you a slight pass on it. Okay, so Alright, so these are Zerglings. Let me just... Okay. Let's... This is augmented reality. Okay, so, you see the Zerglings? Is there anything to stop them from killing all your fucking Marines? No? Build the wall. You're building multiple depots in your goddamn main. I always do the depot after the starport. So you always do an inefficient build after your starport is what you're saying. Like, I can forgive the first one. You could be like, well, I'm scouting for Nidus or whatever. And that's a good bullshit argument. But by like depots 4 and 5, of which, by the way, you don't even need, you are actively, because this, I'm going to repeat what I said earlier, because a lot of people weren't here. The reason Gold, Protoss, Platinum, Zerg, and Diamond Terrans are the vast majority, and now this is Platinum Terran, so it's bucking the curve a little, are the most common. Platinum, so we'll start with Gold Protoss. Gold Protoss, a lot of lower-level Protoss players have disposable income because they play the cool race, and they don't mind throwing $15 around when they're obviously total shit. Whereas the reason you don't get more Gold Terrans, which are just advanced versions, Diamond Terrans are just advanced Gold Terrans. There's still many same tendencies. It's because all the poor people play Terran, because they played the free Wings of Liberty campaign, and while all of StarCraft 2 is free to play right now, still there are so many players who play a little bit of Terran or play a little bit of campaign and are like, well, I'm going to play Terran in multiplayer, but it's not until I sweat my way through playing super hardcore, try-hard, way higher skilled Terran, I can actually send in a replay at Diamond, where they're so blinded by their own failings, they don't realize the problem is not with balance, but with themselves. And Platinum Zerg, simply the very reason why they get to Platinum, is a lot simpler than those two things, and the reason why Platinum Zerg is so common is because other races just don't fucking know how to wall off. When the Zerg come, they're not sending their best. They're sending their Zerglings, and that's like the end of it. They send a bunch of Zerglings, and that's it. And since through Gold, most Protoss and Terran players have never even had the makings of any sort of wall off that makes remote sense. They just kind of win sometimes. And that's why they get to Platinum. And then they realize they never actually learned anything. Here we see an advanced Gold player. Like, you're so close. Like, it's right there. Just wall off. It's like, but then I'd have to raise and lower depots. Well, instead of raising your MMR, you are lowering it. It's like, but I have a tank. Cool. Oh, how did those roaches get in there? That's crazy. Now, the tanks did very well against the roaches. I will give you that, but still. What if there were like 30 lings like there definitely could and should have been? He just kind of, he was going to walk the roaches in no matter what. Let's be honest here. But and then there will be players who do that.
Research, upgrade.
Also, what are these hotkeys? Why is your army on 8? What is going on here? Did you like give the left half of your keyboard away to somebody or something? I use the core. Oh, so okay? For those who don't know, the core is a crazy, like, it is an advanced, efficient keyboard setup that instead of using the left side of your keyboard, you use the right side. So essentially, all your hotkeys are rebound to the right side of the keyboard. And I would argue that, especially if you start with learning that, it's probably more efficient. It's designed to be. Which, you went through all the effort to do all the core hotkeys, learn them, and you still haven't built a fucking wall. Like, this is like putting a towel on in a lake. Like, it takes a lot of work to set it up. It's like every hotkey has changed. And you have yet to build a singular depot to wall off and stop Zerglings from getting in your base.
SCV ready.
Add-on.
You've got, like, the depot landfill in every sense of the word over here. But you ever watch... I'm bringing up the last game I casted on YouTube, subtle plug, which was Maru versus Sue. Let's see what Maru does with his fucking depots. Say what you will about Maru, but he's a very well-accomplished Terran, and, I mean, if you're a fucking tryhard who uses the core and has, like, an entire foreign language of hotkeys, you should be respecting top-tier players and see what they're doing. I wonder what Maru does with his... What is Maru doing with his depots? Pray tell. Oh, what is... What? Where are those depots? Oh! Huh. What are you doing with those, Maru? That's pretty crazy there. Have you ever thought about just building them all in your main? How about that, Maru? How about building them... It would be easier. Like, even before taking a third, that's crazy. But no. Much easier to throw them out with the trash. Yeah, Maru's a noob. He doesn't know how much more efficient and aesthetically pleasing it is to build all your depots in your main. Say what you want about Maru. Well, what some people want to say about Maru is his only great year of resounding success was based off of proxying his buildings in random locations on the map, which would have some form of argument, but he's still one of the best mechanical Terrans and just general Terrans in the entire world. And he crushes Sue 3-0 in that match, by the way. Spoilers, go watch the video.
Research.
I mean, it's a very close and exciting match.
Add-on.
Ready for dust off.
And you definitely should watch the whole thing.
Upgrade.
Like, I'm so distracted by these fucking depots that I haven't even been paying any attention. So, instead of building just +2 weapons, I would also recommend +2 armor, because then you have more upgrades.
CV ready. Fueled up, ready to go.
Upgrade complete. Research.
Go, go, go. We could use some help here. SCV ready.
This isn't a terrible attack. Besides the okay. So, deep breaths, everyone. Here's the next time we're going to just hold our breath until he builds any more units, because this is another classic Meta League strat, which is just once you finally move out to do anything, you just stop everything at home. He played Cyril in BlizzCon group stages. No, he did not. That is wrong. He was in the same group. He just never played him. Stop lying to people on the fucking internet. People just go on the internet and tell lies. Okay.
Research complete.
You want a piece of me, boy?
And...
We could use some help here.
oh, wait. Everybody back. Okay, one more. Because I mistimed it, for one. And two, I had it sped up. And, well, he's building Marines, but he didn't build any new ones.
Research
So,
complete.
and...
Gangway coming through. We could use some help here. SCV ready.
Thankfully, he backed off. Okay. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. If the Zerg had not backed off, who knows how long that standoff could have continued, but... Jimmy! Take it off the... Oh my god. Jimmy is dropping the ball today. You might be like, Winter, are you faking it? Did you breathe during that? You might remember what we're doing right now, when we're doing it, and for how long. And with that, moving forward.
Unacceptable command.
Liberation is at hand.
Add-on complete.
So the answer is ranged liberators. I mean, a lot of tanks and/or ranged liberators. By the way, to the question you have yet to ask. Not stimming in to a bunch of lurkers and praying. Oh, wait. You build... Okay, so here's what a lot of people do. I say liberator. Terrans are the worst at this. Because, like, Terran players will be like, well, what counters Templar? Ghost. And then they'll build 2 ghosts against 12 Templar, fail 1 EMP, and say, well, ghosts are fucking useless. It's the same thing for liberators. It's so common to say, like, well, I built 2 liberators, and that didn't solve my problem, so I don't even know. It's like, I was on fire, so I dipped my leg in some water, and it didn't solve the problem. It's like, maybe just throw yourself in. Like, I want 10 liberators, okay? That's 30 supply. It's not even that much. It's not like you don't have the money. It's like, but I gotta keep the pressure on the Zerg. Well, you're keeping enough pressure on yourself right now. Okay, you guys want to watch this entire army die for no reason?
Battle station.
Ta-da! So I will give you credit though, because you were building units, you still come out ahead on supply.
Mineral field depleted.
The beauty, more shit counters less shit. That's what StarCraft really does boil down to.
Command center upgrade.
It's not a complicated game. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. We're doing like some triple drop bullshit here.
Command
Yeah,
center.
that worked out. Build liberators. Okay? Liberators with range. I would say build more tanks. You're trying. Build liberators. Don't fucking leave the game. You're down 20 supply, and you have half a dozen bases. You fucking... What, you bitch? This is why Terran players are such fucking whining bastards. You're down... What? Okay, whatever. You still have 75 SCVs. He's got a little bit of Roach Hydra. If you had... You could easily build another round of units or 2. You still have tanks. You still have a ton of bases. You have way more workers than him. You have all your production intact. You have 1,000 minerals in the bank, and you just fucking leave the game? The reason half of Terran players are at least a solid tier lower than they should be is because of their fucking tiers all the time. Like, oh, I don't even know how to deal with splash damage because I've never learned how to tread water. I don't... That worked a little better in my head. Anyways, all you have to do is not be a bitch. All right, that's my solution. Like you even have another half base over here. You've already prepared. You got 3 fucking planetary. You got more planetary fortresses than half of the Platinum Leaguers who play this game, and you're leaving the game because you can't figure out the simplest of equation, which is build more units. I wouldn't even say, like, if you asked me objectively to say who's winning this game, I would say the Zerg, but by a thin margin. because
Yes,
it's
yes.
53
Just as I
to 75
deserve.
workers. The Terran
And
has a
normally
bunch of
Zerg and mining
planetaries,
costs.
and there's
I
still
lose a
plenty
lot
of
of
production
games to
intact.
Terran like
There's
this.
75
I know I
SCVs.
tend to float a lot of minerals. What do you think I can do to win these types of games?
Build more units. Like, overall, you didn't build Liberators. You didn't really build Starport units at all. Like, fucking Terran players. You see, this is why. At least you're fulfilling the stereotype, which was very nice of you. And at least you GG'd. But he's building Roach Hydra, which is like the unenthusiastic hand job of unit compositions. He's throwing a few lurkers in there to make it look like he tried. He's got 8 lurkers. Build like 4 tanks. And in fact, you still have oh my god. It's a B. Because, overall, besides the wall-offs and all that bullshit, the build was pretty good. And also B for being a bitch. But the macro was solid. The decision-making was... I mean, you sent that in with 30 bucks, and it only cost 15, so there's already that. That kind of describes your spending habits in game as well. Thank you for following through. Don't be a bitch, and wall off. I'm normally a Zerg and learning tons. Alright, that's so effing cool. Diamond-ish Protoss. So now, you know what they call the person in last place in Grandmaster? Wait, what? Excuse me, what the fuck? It says rank 200. I click on it, and I'm rank 196 out of 198. Blizzard! The fuck? Who knows? It's kind of like when you click on your profile and you go to ladder, there's a button that says friends, and you ostensibly can see your friends' ladder rankings, assuming they ladder, of course, which is rare. But every time I've tried to click on that button, my game crashes, which I think is, I mean, pretty apt. I like how your clan tag is no team, just in case people were... Okay, so... Just... Real quick. Just in case, because it is Protoss versus Terran. We're gonna just refresh. And yes, of course we gotta show off. From the winter... Quick fresher.
Go, go, go!
Not the... 14 pylon, 16 probe, chrono boost, build a gate, scout with the probe, 17 assimilator, 2 more probes, 19 probe can go down the ramp. If he's already there, build a cyber core instead. Now 21 gas, 21 pylon, 22 if you won't forget, but you will forget, so stop fucking around. On the other side, does he have a gas? Yes, then you need maybe 2 build units. But if he has a Rex and just 1 gas, you're fine. Stop freaking out. Where's your second pylon? You need a pylon. You are platinum. Do you want to be diamond? Well, guess what? Fuck you. Build a second pylon. Where's your second pylon? You need a second pylon. Build a second pylon. Thank you, Twitch chat. Your prayers have been answered. And so on and so forth. I bring this up because you built a pylon on 13. Which is fucking wrong. Literally the first thing you had to do. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so he has no barracks in his base. Now, he might have it. He's proxying. He's proxying. It's proxy. You're right. You're right. But there's a chance it was in another part of his base. Like, you want to go see if he has gas as well. I'm not worried too much about the scouting part. But it is proxy. Build a second pot. Build us! Fuck! You had one fucking job. You know what the best thing to do right as you're getting proxy wrecked and desperately need to build units in a timely manner? Is 1, chronoboost probes, 2, chronoboost probes while supply blocked, and 3, be supply blocked. All in that order. Very important to pull all those off. You found him. I'm impressed. You found the barracks. And that's actually the correct response. Like, this is the correct response. That's actually a really good response to exactly what he's doing. Robo, a couple shield batteries, like, not getting too crazy, but don't want to let him break your knees, but maybe 1 sentry, but Immortals are great units. This was actually, besides the stutter on the build, this was, 1, the fact you scouted it was already surprising, and 2, that was the correct response to scouting it. So, there you go. Getting a sentry, like 1 sentry, would be super helpful for Guardianship. No, 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 don't get fancy! Don't get cocky! This is how you fuck it up! Oh no. This is how you fuck it up! Oh no, no, stop! Ah! It's a disaster! What did you think was gonna happen? You're at a God damn it. You're like, well, this is going great. Why couldn't you just load 4 fucking stalkers into that? I guess he'll go home now because I showed him I had an immortal. What did you think? He's done 2 proxy wrecks. You had all, like, you were walking down the fucking award ceremony to how to respond to Proxy Rex award that they're giving out. I'm imagining Nicolas Cage. Okay, Nicolas Cage is up there, and he's like, we're giving out the award for correct response to Proxy Rex. And then, right as you get up there, a warp prism warps him into it, takes the award and Nicolas Cage to an unknown place, and boom, new B movie. Don't trust your warp prism. So now, instead of the 2 immortal drop being a good move, it is a desperation move. It should not have come to this. Immortals are... Oh, God. And Marines are actually a great counter to Immortals. Because Immortals, much like your father, hit hard. But only against armored units. Against light units, they kind of... Their efforts are way... Oh my god. Like, what's the best case scenario? Stop microing. Oh my god. You got a very lucky barrier there. You are an insane man. Like, I'll give you a little credit, because this is what you need to be doing. But, not a lot of credit.
I return to serve.
Little credit. You once again have taken a position that was amazing, and well, at the start you just kind of put yourself in a bad spot, but you dragged yourself out of it. And then you picked up that good position and flew across and gave away the fact that you had no units at home to really defend. Also, by the way, you're not using my voice pack. Am I correct about that? You're not using my voice pack. Which is fine. But, when your base is under attack, there's a line. Do you recall? Which we actually had to go back and forth. And they almost didn't let me put in, because they're like, we don't want to coach the players. But at the end of the day, no one cared enough, and it stayed in. So, what I'm trying to say is, do you recall? He's running into your base. Recall the fucking prism. But despite all of it, you focused on probes and pylons. You made it this far, and I'll give you credit. I can't wait for you to fuck it up again. The problem is now you're in a weird spot. Now you have to be like, I don't know, am I ahead? Am I not ahead? I don't know. And you feel like maybe you need to all in, which, if he was a better player, would probably be accurate, but it's very hard to judge here. So I don't blame you for... I mean, the idea, I don't blame you for. That... At least it wasn't two Immortals. No, okay. So... You come out of that, you see a bunch of Marines and tanks. And you're like... You're like, Stargate. Stargate. After all this, what I need is the Stargate. Because, when in doubt, like back when I played Protoss and Wings of Liberty, I just made Void Rays. Want to watch part of the VOD of the City in the Third? He seems really into SC2 because it's a good game, and he wants to get good. Spoke quite highly of you. Not sure if you ever do streams with another streamer, but I think it would be really cool. Oh yeah, I should follow him on Twitter's. Oh, he has a lot of followers. But, he has a lot more followers than me. But, maybe get in contact. I play twos with people all the time. That's actually my favorite method for... We want to do something Starcraft, but there's obviously a major skill differential. Play 2v2. Because I can put the team on my back and have a conversation. Okay, you need to pull your probes. Your probes hate you, and they deserve to. Like, also, this whole setup is a mess.
Oracle perceiving.
What are the requirements to get a 1v1 against you? If you're 5k-ish MMR on NA or higher, you got a pretty good chance, which I seriously doubt. And I usually do viewer games on usually Wednesdays, but sometimes randomly. And I just line up people to 1v1 me, and knock them down. And every once in a while, somebody's like, "Aha!" I do lose occasionally. Not often, but. Or if you pay me $100 right now, I'll 1v1 you. Let's do it. Might be like, what happens if I win? Well, congratulations, you beat me. Thank you for the $100. What happens if you lose? Thanks for playing. I don't know. Okay, this Oracle is gonna solve our problems. Wait, did we get an explanation on why there's a fucking Stargate? Well, looks like that Oracle didn't have much of a revelation. Like, you just skipped. If you had just gone straight into a Templar Archives. Into Oracles. So, Oracles, no. Okay. The Warp Prism Micro was already stretching the bounds of possibility. The Oracle is going to be a hard no. I do not know Oracles after all that. Maybe opening up Oracle okay, but not like, and now I'm going Oracle to add to my composition. Get some splash damage like a normal person. Oh. No, to intentionally feed them. I meant it was a bad decision. Yes, I agree. Also, don't go blink. You're just going to use it to lose your stalkers faster. Also, it will encourage you to build stalkers, which are bad. You might be like, well, Puck makes stalkers all the time. That's because Puck is allowed to micro. Because he doesn't lose 15 probes to 6 random-ass marauders 5 minutes into the game. And no GG. No GG. He just outplayed you after you outplayed yourself, and no GG. What a fuckboy. What a bitch. I bet you're like, well, I'm not even really Diamond. I'm actually just learning Protoss after playing a 13-minute game of which you were winning over half of it. I bet that's what went through your head. If you didn't wall off your main base with a bunch of random-ass tech buildings and decide to just intentionally bring all your units out of position, that was actually not terrible. Like, that wasn't bad. It's hard to judge, though, because you made some smart plays, but some very bad ones. It's obvious, like, you can... I believe strongly that you don't play much Protoss. Not that it would matter at this level, but it's like it's really hard to judge. It's like a B-, because there was a lot of good parts, but there were some very bad parts. Like, there were some very bad parts there. It's obvious, like, if you smooth it out a little bit, it'll be okay. But some very bad, like, they were rough. What would I do to stabilize and win? What, after throwing away your prism? Colossi and or Archon charge lot with any amount of upgrades. I might also mention that he had 1/1 going on +2 and you didn't even have a forge. So, Colossi, okay, like, possibly, I don't know, getting an observer to see anything.
My service.
Thank you, Pezzer.
I'm just a 7 months, Grubby.
Building a second Bylon. I thought you said Grubby for a second. But that was actually the end of the replay. We just did Angry Coach for like 3-4 hours. But if you made it this far, and for those who don't know, when it comes to YouTube, I do most of it live because I stream 10 to 12 hours a day. So I don't really have time to go off doing fancy-ass YouTube videos. So we try to just work it all in. So like and subscribe and talk about how you're better than all these players who are a higher rank than you, but you just don't have time to play as you sit there watching this 4-hour video. So, thank you for that. Good luck and have fun.